Hey everyone, Mr. Justin here with the Hernando County Public Library System, and thank you so much for joining us for another science video. This one's going to be a little short today. It's going to be a quick one, but it's going to be a lot of fun. You may have seen this online, but this will give you a chance to go ahead and do it on your own at home. But it is pretty cool. We're going to be dealing with another hydrophobic object today. Remember a few weeks ago we did the trick where we used the dish soap in the water with the pepper, and the pepper did not mix with the water very easily. It just kind of laid on top, and it is a hydrophobic food or hydrophobic material. So we're going to see something else today that is hydrophobic. It just doesn't like to mix with water very easily, and that is going to be cocoa powder. And so I'm going to open up the cocoa powder, and we have cocoa powder. It looks like something that would be able to mix easily with water, but if you, and you can mix it with water, but it doesn't mix very easily. It is a hydrophobic object. It just doesn't like water that much, as I put it right there. It looks like it's actually floating on top, kind of like the pepper did. And so what we're going to do is we are going to take a spoonful of this, and for this little experiment today, you're going to need some cocoa powder, you're going to need a spoon, you're going to need a little toothpick, and a cup of water. So I'm going to take a nice big spoonful of cocoa powder, and I'm going to dip it in the water and hold it there for a couple seconds. Don't put the spoon upside down, but you can see when it's in the water, it's not going anywhere. It's all staying in one clump on the spoon. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lift it up. And you can see that it is wet. It's still kind of keeping its shape, but it is still wet. And if we go ahead and hit it with the toothpick, you can see that it automatically will start drying up. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this. We'll try it again. I'm going to put a spoon right there. I'm going to put it in the water. I'm going to lift it right up. In some cases, if you do it fast enough, it may not even have the water. The water won't even stay on it. So let's try it again. So we have the water enveloping, kind of creating a bubble around. There we go. Now we have the water. And if you use a toothpick to touch it, you can see it's going to dry up immediately. So what's happening is, again, the cocoa powder is hydrophobic. It doesn't dissolve easily in water. So when you dip it in and you bring it up, sometimes you won't even have the water. It won't be wet at all. It'll stay dry, which is kind of cool. But if you put it back in the water, let it sit for a few seconds, bring it up, you'll see it looks like it's wet. But when you touch it with a toothpick, it all of a sudden will quickly dry up, and it's almost like popping a balloon. So when you put the cocoa powder in the water, it's going to have like a quick little layer. You poke it, and it pops like a balloon, leaving what's dry underneath. And so again, it repels water. And when it's dipped, it's going to, the air bubble kind of around it, and it's going to be kind of the outer layer. When we touch it, it's going to burst, and everything else is going to be dry underneath because the surface tension is going to break. It's going to release the air bubble and reveal the dry cocoa inside. Now what's kind of cool is you can try this with other liquids also. It's not just with water that this is going to work with. So you can make this into a true experiment and see if it works with liquids like milk or maybe Gatorade or other stuff like that. And you know what, it definitely does work with milk, and there it is getting a little drier right there. You may not be able to see it very well on camera, but if you try it at home by yourself, you can definitely see it work, and it's actually a really cool thing to watch. Again, you just need cocoa powder, a toothpick, a cup of water, and a spoon, and you'll be able to see how it stayed dry again. You'll be able to see how this hydrophobic material or the cocoa powder works, and it is kind of cool to watch in person as you kind of burst the bubble and it gets dry. It reveals the dry cocoa powder underneath, and that is again because cocoa powder is hydrophobic. Sometimes it'll even pop before you get a chance to do it with your toothpick. It is very cool to watch in person. So I hope you all enjoyed our experiment today on cocoa powder, which is hydrophobic. We'll be back next week with more science, and we'll see you all then. Bye, everyone.